Hey, what's up? DFS Rico coming at you with my picks and insight for this League of Legends, LPL, and LCK 4-game slate on Wednesday, June 17th. So this is pretty exciting. We got our first 4-game slate, 2 games LPL, 2 games LCK. Yesterday on my picks, I went 2-0. So for the season, as of right now, I'm 17-7 on my picks. So hopefully we could keep those numbers up. Those are some pretty good numbers in my opinion. Today, I think we got 4 pretty good slates because we have games. But before I jump into it, if you could like, subscribe, comment, I really do appreciate it. Get those. I'm almost at 200 subscribers. Let's get me there. I would really appreciate it. And let's keep this train going. So, we got a 4-game slate, and honestly, I think these games are much closer than the odds insist. Today is a day where you can go with underdogs, and I wouldn't blame you. Across the board, honestly, just with the LCK being the first 2 games of the season, we don't know how these teams are going to look with the meta that's currently going on. The meta that's currently going on is kind of like carry junglers and carry the AD carries, and the junglers are really doing a lot of the carrying. I mean, the mid laners are playing well also, but that's what we expect from them. But a lot of junglers are deciding to play like champs like Nidalee and Graves and Kindred in the jungle, which are like carry junglers, so which leads to them having a lot more kills and assists. So that's something to look at. And one thing I know is some of these junglers on the underdog teams are actually better when playing carry jungler, so it might benefit them. And just the fact that we don't know how these teams are going to look. Most of these teams' rosters did remain the same, so I don't expect a lot of changes. But it's always about the meta in League of Legends. It's not always about the players. Some players are just better on certain champions, and that's things you got to look at as well when watching or when betting on them. But for me, I'm just going to go like kind of game by game. The LCK, the big issue with them is that you don't know their starting lineups until like an hour before their game starts. So in this case, we have a Freak of Freaks playing Sandbox Gaming in the first game. We won't know theirs until maybe like an hour before, and then we won't know the DRX and T1 one until it locks. So the good thing about that is DRX and T1 were 2 of the best teams last split in the LCK. So their rosters practically remain the same. T1 is the only issue is that their jungler. It could either be a Kuz or Elim starting. I would expect it to be Kuz, but they swapped around pretty much all last season. Everyone else on that team, for the most part, should be the same. So I feel pretty confident with 9 of their 10 guys. So that's the only place I would be wary of that is their jungler. But as far as Freak of Freaks and Sandbox, I am picking a Freak of Freaks to win, so I'm just going to give them a little rundown. With them, their top laner, Kin, their AD carry, Mystic, and Jelly practically played either like 95 to 100% of their games. But their mid laner and jungler, Spirit and All In, and Dread. So Spirit and Dread are the junglers. All In and Fly are the mid laners. They kind of split them, so be wary of that. I mean, if you're going to stay up and wait for the lineups to come out, then that's fine because they do start first, so you will know that. But if not, I would just stay away from them if you just want to, if you're going to be in bed by then, I would just recommend just stay away from both of them. But Mystic is practically their best player, so if you are going to be playing a Freak of Freaks, I would recommend that. And then just going over to Bovada, I like to look at the odds. We got Invictus Gaming beating Rogue Warriors, pretty heavily favorites. I think this game will have the most kills out of any of them. If you look at them last season, they had I think their series, they played a 3-game series, which Invictus barely won 2-1 against them. And Invictus hasn't looked that good this split, but to me, they have the better talent across the board. They can just put it together. They were the best team last split in the LPL as far as record. They were 14-2. They just haven't been performing lately, but they looked good last game out. Not amazing, but I think they have the talent to win, so they're kind of my favorite pick today. Obviously, along with Vegas odds, you can see that too. But I could see Rogue Warriors beating them if Invictus keeps doing what they've been doing. It could happen. But I'm going to be leaning Invictus. And then in the other game, Edward and Suning, I will be playing Edward. Another close match, in my opinion. It could go either way, but I think same thing. They play the same style. They focus around their AD carry, and they try to funnel everything to them gold, kills, and then they kind of snowball from there. But so it kind of depends. Young Fang for Suning and Edward Gaming. It just depends who gets their AD carry ahead is going to win that match. But I do think Edward Gaming is better also in other positions. So that's kind of why I give him the slight edge. And if we go over the LCK, you got Afrika with the smallest odds against Sandbox, which is a close match. Like I mentioned, both teams are pretty bad in my opinion. The LCK, you all know, It usually leads to less kills in the LPL. So most people will favor the LPL because that's usually where all the kills come from, and kills mean points. So it's not just about objectives all the time. But that's where you can kind of mix in the teams. I usually try to play like a 4-2-1 stack, a 3-3-1 stack, or a 4-3. This is the most basic and generic one. Depending how different you want to be, you start going to 3-3-1 and 4-2-1. Just depends, mixing them up. The more different you want to be in GPPs is the main thing. 4-3s to me are more cash related. But, and then I got a Freak of Freaks winning that one, and then I got Dragon X upsetting T1 just because it's the start of the split. Both really good teams. T1 is the defending champions in the split in the spring. So I mean they 3-0'd them last season in the playoffs, Dragon X. So I mean they have their number. I mean T1 can beat Dragon X, but I'm just gonna take a gamble right there. Like I mentioned, I don't mind taking a gamble on Sandbox or any of the teams today, but my picks are Invictus, Freak of Freaks, Dragon X, and Edward Gaming. So those are my picks. Hopefully we can go 4-0 on those picks. As far as starting lineups, like I mentioned, we won't know the LCK ones till it starts, practically. This is the starting lineups for the LPL. EDG looking like they're one of the only ones that did a change. They put Jai Jai at the jungle position over Junjia, which I don't get because Junjia has been playing better in this meta, in my opinion. So I don't know what's up with that. Just be careful with that. If you play him, they might sub him out for Junjia. They've done that every game practically. In the first series, they did that, and then I guess in the second game was a 2-0, which Junjia dominated. So I just don't get why they're benching him. Switch over here. Same lineup for Invictus Gaming that they've had for a while already. Shy in the top lane's been slacking, but if you can pick it up, I could see them winning. In the bottom lane, Yudong and Holder. Wooming and Holder, they put him in. So that should be solid. But like I said, today's a good slate to be different, in my opinion. Let's go on over to DraftKings. Like I mentioned, the LPL and the LCK is usually different. LPL is a lot more aggressive. So if you want, like in cash, most people will probably go that way. But that's where you get your leverage and your some more upside by playing the guys in the LCK, trying to be more different, you know. So with the players going across the board, like I mentioned, the guys I like for all a Freak of Freaks, and then like I will just go through. I like Invictus Gaming. And then I do like Edward Gaming a lot too. You got Ioti at the top lane, probably the highest upside out of any top laner. It's been pretty solid this split. I mean, we don't have that much to go based off of this split, but last season he was solid. When they put him in the starting lineup, towards the end of the season he was playing good. 6.5 kills per game, 12 assists. Had a decent game last time out versus OMG. I probably expect him to be better this time out against a weaker top laner. So, and then you got Kana for T1, solid. One of the better top laners last split in the LCK, so I don't mind him. The Shy has been slacking this split, but last season he showed how much upside he has. He's one of the most aggressive top laners, which is his kind of upside and his downfall. If he shows up and he's not dying, teams have noticed just to camp him, and they can get more kills and just gold off of him. But if he plays smart, which sometimes he does, and he can get ahead, if his jungler Ning can get him ahead, he should be pretty solid up there. So it just kind of depends what Rogue Warriors does. Do they camp him? Do they just let him do what he wants? If they let him do what he wants, that's when they're going to get punished, honestly. So I think they'll go that way. My favorite top laners, like I said, Ioti. I like Kana. If you're going to be playing T1. If you're not playing T1, Doran is a solid top laner. 5K, you can't really beat that. Decent enough to win. He's not terrible, so I don't mind that. It's kind of going to be going based off the teams that I like. If I am going to be playing anybody from IG in the top lane, obviously it's Shy. I would rank him, for me, Ioti, and then probably Shy just because of his upside, and then Doran. Going over to jungle, you got Junjia, which is, I don't know why he's not starting, like I mentioned, but so you could go Jai Jai. For Edward Gaming, I don't mind him against Suning. Selpham had a bad match last time, so I honestly expect him to have another bad match. And that's kind of the reason why Suning has been losing. Their jungler has not been playing well. So I expect Jai Jai to be able to take advantage of that. And then you got Invictus Gaming, you got Ning at the jungle position. It's been pretty decent. Hasn't really shown much because they haven't been in a faster paced matchup because Suning has been playing pretty slow this split. But in this matchup, which I expect to be high-paced, you want to jam him a good amount of Invictus Gaming guys. So I will be playing Ning at the jungle position. Like I said, I don't mind Kuz. A key guy, Pyosik, I will be playing him if I am stacking DRX. So I don't mind playing him. Solid jungler. Plays carry junglers, so that's why I like him in this matchup, because he plays junglers that are popular in this meta right now. So I don't mind him. Going over to the mid lane, you got Rookie, you got Scout. I'm just going to be plugging in Scout right here. Depending which way you want to go. If you want to go Puff or Rookie, Rookie's been playing better this split in my opinion, so I do like him. And then for obviously, like, I really like I said, the DRX guys. So I like Chovy. If you're going to be playing all in, a Freak of Freaks, you're going to have to just wait on the lineups, either all in or fly. Don't mind that right there. Faker is obviously one of the best players in the world, so if you're playing T1, that's a key piece. But I prefer Teddy from them, from T1. Then you got Hope and Puff. Just been dominating this split. Hope has, at least, even in losses. They think they lost against Team Wii. Had over 80 fantasy points. Just a solid 80 carry. 11.5 kills, 15.5 assists, 6.5 deaths. So I really like that matchup for him. Where I think it should be fun. Hope and Hyung Feng going against each other. It's going to come down to whichever one gets all those kills funneled to them. But I do like Mystic for a Freak of Freaks. If I am going to be playing a Freak of Freaks, that's a player I will be playing. So kind of depending which way you want to go, a Freak of Freaks, DR or Deft. I'd like Deft, one of the best AD carries in the world. So I will be plugging in Mystic just because I think they're a little safer in a Freak of Freaks in my opinion. DRX is going to be a tougher matchup for sure. And then with this going on, I don't mind plugging in Jelly to pair up with Mystic. Not a bad decision. You got Maiko for EDG, 67.2 fantasy points this split. But I'm just going to plug in Southwind. I'm looking at playing probably like a 4-3 stack or a 4-2-1 stack today. I don't have an issue with that. Just probably being different on the team slot in the 4-2-1. Just picking a favorite that I think is going to win. That way you're a little different in GPPs. So this is kind of what I'm looking at early on. Ning, Rookie, Southwind, and then Mystic is a nice little core in my opinion. If you don't want to play, if you feel better with somebody else, you could swap out the AD carry for somebody else. One of the other guys I kind of picked to win, I don't mind Hope, like I said, or if you do an ADG stack. But this is kind of what I'm looking at. I feel confident IG will win. Pretty confident a Freak of Freaks will win. So this is kind of where I'm looking at. Like I said, I expect Invictus Gaming to win, Edward Gaming, Freak of Freaks, and Dragon X. T1 will probably be my favorite, like my 5th place team that I would kind of throw in there just because they're the best team last split. So I'm just kind of going for the upset there. But yeah, that's really it. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get this season going. It's going to be much funner now. No more tying with a million people. And yeah, thanks for watching.